What's up, you guys and ladies? How you guys doing today? It's Patrick again, back with another video. Hope you guys are keeping cool and staying out the heat. It's really hot. People are getting sick and just it's scorching hot. I'm not laughing at people getting sick. I'm laughing at the fact that it's hot and people are not used to it, especially here in California. I'm just gonna get right to it. I have my notes right here. In advance, I probably, more than likely, I might swear in this video, so forgive me in advance. The title of this video is called "The Hatred That's Ingrained, Installed in Light-Skinned, Mixed Biracial Grown Girls to Hate Light-Skinned, Mixed Biracial Men from Dark-Skinned Boys." Yeah, thought I wasn't gonna make this video, huh? I'm making it right now. As far back as I can remember, from me being a young lad, a young man, I'll say, let's start from junior high. I have witnessed and seen and actually been targeted at from light-skinned, mixed biracial grown girls, not young women, grown girls, who will show me hostility, hatred, or would try to just say crazy stuff to me just cause, as I thought. But as I will learn and as I will see and observe, the person that they were dating or liked was in fact a grown dark-skinned or dark brown-skinned black boy who will in fact teach her hatred, will tell her lies, will show her how to talk to certain light-skinned, mixed biracial young men. Again, this is going all the way back from junior high, high school, college, and yes, even at work, which I will get to next. This installment of hatred has two people who are teaching them this. One, their dark-skinned, grown daddy, or their young black boyfriend that they are seeing. These two are the main culprits to showing and teaching this grown girl, this young grown girl at the time, how to show hatred. We already know what the mama was. Either she was white, Latina, Asian, or just a light-skinned black woman in some cases, but usually is always that white grown girl mama of hers, and always that dark-skinned grown black daddy. It was always that. I will face this all the time, and me being young, I would never get upset about it, but I was always curious about it. I was always wondering, what's her problem? What's her problem? You know, because you know when some girls like you and they know they can't get you, they'll give you an attitude or act funny style towards you, but it wasn't that. It was that in some cases. In some cases, it was that. In most cases, I would say. because most is over some. But for the other part, it was in fact that they were dating a dark-skinned black boy, a dark-skinned grown black boy, who will tell them all this bullshit to make himself and to elevate himself into a higher stature and to belittle and degrade young men and men who are light-skinned, biracial mix to the lowest possible degree there is of being low, and put himself on a high pedestal, and is brainwashed that he will install, ingrained in these grown girls, worked tremendously. I mean, it truly worked, because the way they would act, it was like as if I dated them and broke up with them and got with a white girl or a Latina girl, and that just pissed her off, which is completely false and not even in my category of who I would date at that time when I was young that is. I mean, I did date other races of women when I was in my early 20s, but I got over that. But this is the mindset. This is the carry-on. You will also get other races of women, white, Latina, Asian, who would date these, this is from junior high, high school, and college, who would date these young, grown, dark-skinned black boys and dark brown. And when you're in the classroom with them, maybe you are sitting next to them, or maybe you ask them a question, they will give you the rudest answer. If you were to ask them a question, the rudest remarks, and you will think to yourself, what's up with this girl right here? What's her problem? What's her problem? I'm gonna tell you what her problem was. Her problem was that she was dating in a relationship with an immature, highly effeminate, highly irrational, highly emotional, dark-skinned, dark brown-skinned, grown black boy who would teach her all this stupidity, all this ignorance. And she fell for it hook, line, and sink. This carries on. This carries on from junior high to high school to college, even when you are working in the work field. The same hostility, the same rude remarks, the same gossiping of just things that are not true about you, which is coming from this light-skinned, mixed, biracial, grown girl that is being taught from this punk-ass, grown, sissified, dark-skinned black boy. I mean, the shit that I heard. I had one tell me one time, I was working at a department store. I was young. I was about 18, 19 years old. And I never forget her name. Her name was Brianna. And we were talking about something. I don't know what it was. But, we were talking about children. You know, like daycare and stuff like that. Because, you know, a lot of kids come through the department store and scream and yell. And there was a brown skin, like a dark brown skinned young little boy with his mama, some grown black girl. And she couldn't control him. He was yelling and screaming. And I said, man, this is awful, man. She need to learn how to, control his emotions and stuff like that. He's just yelling for no apparent reason. And she had said something like, yeah, this is my first time ever seeing this. Because I was told that only light-skinned little boys cry like that. I was told only light-skinned little boys cry like that, or mixed boys only cry like that. And when they constantly yell and cry like that, they pee on themselves. I only thought that they do that. And when she said that, the look on my face, I was so baffled by what she said. I had to question her. I said, "What do you mean? What are you talking about? You only thought light-skinned little boys cry like that?" and pee on themselves if they overly cry. Well, that's what I was told. I said, that's what you were told? And I said, who told you this? Well, my boyfriend told me this. At that time, I didn't ask what color was he, but I had a hunch. That's the right term to use. I had a hint, on what he was. And one day, probably like a week or two later, he came up there to go with her for lunch. She had a lunch break. Sure enough, guess what he was? Some ghetto ass, dark skinned, grown black boy. She heard it from him. This mixed girl, grown girl I meant. I've heard, got my notes right here if you don't mind. I've heard shit that you would never even imagine. Crazy things. I said this in like a previous video about this mindset that's ingrained in all non-black grown girls, as well as black girls, but particularly light-skinned, mixed, and biracial grown girls when they're dealing and dating these immature, dark-skinned, dark brown-skinned, grown black boys, of the bullshit that they tell them that mixed, biracial, light-skinned men don't have large privates, that they can't last long in bed, that they can't develop muscle, that they cry a lot. They're very insecure. They don't know how to be a man. All this crazy bullshit to make himself feel like he's some type of king. You're the king of nothing. You're the king of trash talk. You're the king of chaos. You're the king of being the most demonic individual thus far on this planet. That's what you're the king of. And that's what people need to understand and realize. You try to elevate yourself and belittle every other man there is because you feel insecure off of your setbacks, your ignorance, and your goddamn silly shit that you constantly conjure up throughout the years of you living. And I just can't believe, well, I can't believe because they're grown girls, because a woman, a black woman, a non-black woman, a woman who's light-skinned, biracial mix, she wouldn't allow herself to be bamboozled and fooled by such stupidity. Because more than likely, this light-skinned, biracial mixed girl has dated another light-skinned, biracial mixed man. She'll tell him right off the bat, I've never heard of this before. What you mean you never heard of this? What you talking about? You trying to say that you dated one of these niggas? Yeah, she dated one of those niggas, and he's not a nigga. You're the nigga. You're the ignorant buffoon who can't control his emotions. And you make up all these lies just to make yourself look good. And for the most part, you don't even like. For the most part, you don't even like light-skinned, biracial mixed women. You're obsessed with them. You covet someone's wife, woman, girlfriend. You love to do that. But you really don't care for them. You just get with them for the main cause of trying to impregnate her numerous times and try to keep her away from other attractive men, such as a light-skinned biracial mixed man. And you purposely try to degrade her value. Lower her value by doing the things that you constantly do. Getting her pregnant constantly, mentally, physically abusing her. You don't even have any type of care or admiration for her. You just use her to make yourself feel good about your own insecurities, and you know it to be true. And the trouble that you get them involved in, these mixed biracial light-skinned women, not women, grown girls, you get them in trouble. You have them start doing drugs. You start having them do corruption, illegal shit. That goes for the light-skinned biracial mixed grown girls as well as non-black grown girls. You get them doing the same thing that you get her doing. My brother, I'll give you a quick story. My brother was with a Filipina for about 5 years. They decided to break up. I guess, I don't know. I don't want to put my older brother's business out there. It's my second older brother. But they broke up. And she went from dating an attractive man to lowering her standards by getting with a grown, dark-skinned black boy. I said it. She lowered her standards. That's right, I said it. Do you know what happened to her? This Filipina, she was a RN, a nurse. Do you know at the hospital she was working at, this buffoon convinced her to do something very, very harsh and illegal, such as to steal some type of medicine from the pharmacy. I know some nurses go down to the pharmacy or something like that when it's time to collect certain medicines to give to the patients within the hospital. In some cases, if the CNA doesn't do it. Do you know she tried to steal like Oxycontin, certain muscle relaxers, so he can sell? Do you know what happened? Not only did she get fired, but she lost her RN license. When you get involved with this buffoon who constantly tries to get some type of action going, a quick, rich scheme going, because he doesn't want to work, because you know how lazy he is, he'll use these women to do his dirty work. And if they fall, he'll say, don't try to get me involved in it. I didn't make you do that. I didn't force you to do that. But he was the head corporate of this nonsense that got her in trouble. He gets a lot of grown girls in trouble. A lot. A lot. It's like as if once they get involved with him, these reverting back to the light-skinned biracial mixed girls, it's like they have to prove themselves that they're black. You know what I'm saying? You gotta prove yourself to me. You gotta prove yourself to me that you with me, that you love me, that you black. Yeah, that dumb bullshit. You gotta prove yourself to me. He does this to the non-black grown girls as well. But we talking about the light-skinned biracial mixed girls. He does this to them. He does this to the black grown girls as well. But we're talking about, again, the title, the video of the light-skinned biracial mixed girls, grown girls. He does this to them all the time. They always have to prove themselves. Not only them, but this is just cut out of this right here. Not only this is cut out of this real quick. Not only do he make the grown girls try to prove themselves, but these ghetto, low-class, light-skinned, mixed biracial, grown black boys, them too. They can be cousins or close ghetto community friends, and you always see them having to prove themselves, to prove their blackness to them, like as if they hold the key, the blueprint of what a true black man is. You are far from a black man. You will always remain a grown boy in society, and all these other non-black men see you for what you are, which is a boy. You'll always remain a boy because you don't know how to be a man. You don't know how to conduct yourself properly. You're not upright. You're not ethical. This is a constant circle of you acting on this stupidity of making these grown girls, in which I mentioned, as well as the grown boys who are light-skinned, mixed, and biracial to prove themselves to you. That's why I don't go in no barbershop. I don't go anywhere that consists of a crowd that I know that's going to consist of ghetto-ass, grown, dark-skinned, dark brown-skinned, even the ghetto, light-skinned, grown boys of society. I don't associate myself with none of them. Don't talk to me. Don't try to ask me no questions. I'm not your friend. I'm not your bruh. I'm not your boy. Don't ask me none of that shit. I don't flow that way. So go on about your way. That's all to it. This grown, dark-skinned, dark brown-skinned boy has the same mindset of that grown, white, Anglo-Saxon boy. He admires him. He wants to be like him. He emulates him from head to toe. He tries to think like him when it comes to treating females a certain way. He tries to act on that same Anglo-Saxon way of thinking. And that grown white boy knows that. That's why he admires him more. Because we all know that grown white boys, as well as these other non-black grown boys of society, hate and despise light-skinned, mixed, biracial men. They do not like us. And that's the truth. For the sole purpose of other women, even these grown girls, having a deep attraction towards us. That's all it reverts back to, is women. Women, women, women. All the hatred, all the bias, all the prejudice, it all reverts back to these women and grown girls liking light-skinned, mixed, biracial men. You guys know it's the truth. That's why I receive the most hate I receive in the comments are not from light-skinned, mixed, biracial men, from the women. I don't even receive hatred from black women who are darker, who have a darker tone or a light tone. It's from these grown black boys trying to report my channel, my comments that's in the community post, anything, because they're jealous. They don't want to see someone like me have a good subscriber count. That's why they make these comments. They watch my shit every day, worried that I'll get higher and higher. I'm just making videos. I have a career. I'm not trying to make YouTube my career, but you are. Let me backtrack on how you are when it comes to you emulating this white Anglo-Saxon, because this is what you do. You've been doing it since what? The 1940s? Trying to perm your hair and slick your hair. Remember that? But we all know who you were truly trying to look like. You weren't trying to look like those white Anglo-Saxon grown white boys. You were trying to look like a mixed, biracial, light-skinned man. What's that guy name who sung Unforgettable? He slicked his hair all the time. I think it's Nat King Cole. Fried, dyed, and laid to the side. Remember that? Trying to catch some what? Some mixed, biracial, light-skinned woman or some white woman. You know that was forbidden for you to try to go at them during that time. Because it would have been... But you chase these light-skinned, mixed, biracial women all day, every day. You haven't stopped yet. And once you get a hold of them, you corrupt them. I received massive hate since grade school, college, at work. You know when they're dating or in a relationship with a dark-skinned, dark brown-skinned, grown black boy, the way they treat you. That goes for the non-black grown girls in society as well. You know that. And as you get older, you develop more knowledge and wisdom. And you say to yourself, you know, I guarantee you, one day he's going to pick her up from work. Or he's going to come up there for lunch, take her to lunch. And he's going to show himself. And sure enough, I 9 out of 10 times, I was right. Literally, no lie. Hand to the Creator. 9 out of 10 times, I was right. They had some dark skin, dark brown skin, grown boy as they man. And the moment he seen me, this pure hatred in his eyes. You ain't talking to him, are you? I heard one when they were leaving for lunch. You ain't talking to him, are you? She said, no, what you talking about? This utter insecurity. You can't control your emotions. Because all you think about is sex all day. From different races of women. And trying to impregnate them so you can trap them. That's your main goal. And you know that's how you play. That's how you act. I hope this video made sense. If I left anything out, you guys can put it in the comments. And for you trolls that keep watching my videos, just keep watching, because I'm going to talk about these issues that are taboo that nobody wants to talk about. Because it's the truth. And it's time for people like myself and others to expose the rhetoric and the bullshit that you guys constantly conduct. I'll see you guys in the next video.